today's lesson, we will continue with punctuation. But before we go into the lesson, let's have the correction to our homework. Remember that in our last lesson, we looked at the comma, the question mark, and the capital letters. You have to put the punctuation marks where necessary. Number 1, the boy, comma, his parents and his siblings went for the trip, full stop. Did you start the sentence with a capital letter? Good. When will school be reopened? When will schools be reopened? Question mark. Did you get that one too? The chef who prepared this meal, comma, was trained in Paris. Full stop. I came, comma, I saw and I conquered. Full stop. And the last one, he came into the room, comma, picked his bag, comma, slammed the door shut and headed to school. Full stop. Was this what you did? If that is what you did, then you're right and I celebrate you with a chair. Now to the focus of today. The learning objective is that by the end of the lesson, you should be able to use capitalization correctly in sentences and identify colon and quotation mark and use them correctly in sentences. Now to the lesson of the day. We have already introduced punctuation in our last lesson, if you can remember. We also learned about the full stop, the question mark, the comma, and their usage. Now, we will look at more punctuation symbols. Capitalization. Capitalization. This is a very important aspect of punctuation. When we want to use capitalization or capital letters, the first rule is that the first word of every sentence must begin with a capital letter. The first word of every sentence definitely must begin with a capital letter. For example, the policeman caught the thief. The policeman caught the thief. The first word is the, and it starts with capital letter T. Our children are learning from home. Our children are learning from home. The first word is R, and the first letter there, O, is in capital letter. Still on capitalization, we use it to begin every word in a proper noun. We use capital letter or capitalization to begin every word in a proper noun, even if it is in the middle of a sentence. For example, the car belongs to Dayo's father. The car belongs to Dayo's father. Dayo here is in the middle of a sentence, but because it is a proper noun, it must begin with a capital letter. The car belongs to Dayo's father. The children attend Maryland Primary School. The children attend Maryland Primary School. Maryland Primary School is a proper noun. That's why the fact that is in the middle of the sentence, we have capital letter M, capital letter P, and capital letter S. The Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board caters for the education needs of all children within the basic education system. The Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board caters for the education needs of all children. Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board is a proper noun. So we have the capital letter L, capital letter S, capital letter U, capital letter B, capital letter E, and capital letter B. Another thing is that we use capitalization for abbreviations and acronyms. We use capitalization in abbreviations and acronyms. Example: WHO is the body responsible for global health. WHO is the body responsible for global health. Here, WHO means World Health Organization. It's an acronym. So we use capital letter. We cannot write them in small letters. It must definitely be in capital letters. The NLC fights for the right of workers in the country. The NLC fights for the right of workers in the country. NLC here means Nigeria Labour Congress, and it must definitely be written in capital letter because it is an acronym. We're done with capitalization. We're moving to another punctuation mark, that is the colon. Say the colon. Good. What do we use the colon for? We use the colon to introduce a list. When we want to introduce a list, we use the colon. For example, we want to distribute the following food items. We want to distribute the following food items. Colon. This is the colon. Don't forget, the colon is like two full stops. Two full stops on top of one another. The colon. So, we want to distribute the following food items. Colon. Rice, beans, yam, spaghetti, pando yam, and salt. Full stop. Because we are introducing a list. The names of pupils selected for the scholarship are as follows. The names of pupils selected for the scholarship are as follows. Colon. Bolu, John, Rachel, and Atinuke. Full stop. So we use colon when introducing a list. The following phrases are usually followed by a colon. The following phrases are usually followed by a colon. For example, there must be a colon. In other words, colon. To sum up, colon. The following, colon. Depending on how you're using the sentence. As follows, colon. These are the phrases that we use colon with. The colon is also used to introduce a quotation or before someone speaks. The colon is used to introduce a quotation or before someone speaks. For example, everybody should remember the adage which says, colon, one good turn deserves another. Still on the colon, we can also use colon instead of a full stop between two sentences. That is where the second sentence gives more explanation to the first. That is if we have two sentences and the second sentence gives fuller explanation to the first. For example, Simbi was very happy, colon. She has just learned that she had won a scholarship. In this sentence, you can see that the second part of the sentence gives more explanation to the first. She had just learned that she had won a scholarship. That is why she was very happy. He got what he worked for. He got what he worked for, a colon. He really earned that promotion. The second part of the sentence has given a deeper explanation to the first. He got what he worked for, colon. He really earned that promotion. Did you understand the colon? Well done. I believe you are paying attention. Now let's move on to the quotation marks. Quotation marks. When we're talking about quotation marks, it's like when you have a comma not written on the line, but written above the line. But instead of just single one, we have it in two. One is open, one is facing this side, and the other one is facing the second side. That is quotation marks. Quotation marks are also called inverted commas or speech marks. Quotation marks are also called inverted commas or speech marks. They are used in a direct speech. What do I mean by direct speech? When the actual words of the speaker are repeated without any alteration. You just want to say it exactly the way the speaker said it. Then what you need to use is quotation marks. Let's have examples. The examination will start tomorrow, said the teacher. You were not the one that said that sentence. Your teacher did. And you wanted to say it exactly the way your teacher said it. You will need quotation mark. And that is why he said the examination will start tomorrow. Quotation marks, open and close, said the teacher. Quotation marks are used for titles of books, plays, films, poems, newspapers, magazines, songs, festivals, and programs on radio or television. Let's have examples of that. I have read Chinua Achebe's, you open your quotation now, Things Fall Apart. Close it. I have read Chinua Achebe's Things Fall Apart. The title of the book is Things Fall Apart. And the writer is Chinua Achebe. So you're saying, I have read the book Things Fall Apart, written by Chinua Achebe. But because you want to use quotation mark now, you now put it this way. I have read Chinua Achebe's quotation, Things Fall Apart, and you close it. The title of my poem is The Three Blind Mice. The title of my poem is, you quote it, The Three Blind Mice. What other things do we use quotation marks for? We use quotation marks for unusual words or words which are not accepted as normal English. We can also use quotation marks for words that we can tend to be unusual or words that are not accepted as normal English expressions. For example, we had amala for supper yesterday. Every one of us know that amala is not an English word. So we can quote it. We can use quotation mark to show we had amala for supper yesterday. Amala in quotes. Activity time. Punctuate the following sentences using colon, quotation marks, and capitalization where necessary. You have 1 minute to do that, and your time starts now. Eyes on me. By now, you should have finished. Let's see how correct you are. Wow. Did you get them all? If you did, then let me celebrate you with a cheer. Good job, you. Now to the assignment of the day. You are to copy these sentences and punctuate them using colon, quotation marks, and capitalization where necessary. 1. He got what he worked for, a promotion. 2. In Africa, yam is used to make a local delicacy called inyo. 3. Here is what I want: butter, sugar, and flour. 4. It is antiphonist time on television. The pupils chorused happily. 5. Donald Trump is the president of USA. That's your assignment, and please make sure you do it. We've come to the end of the English Studies lesson for today. Let me hand you over now to the mathematician for the mathematics class. Well done, children.